Hey, what's up, guys? This is Martin here from Ipkaria, coming to you once again from beautiful nature here in Poland, and it's been a wonderful day so far. So today, guys, I would like to talk to you about an interesting subject which I don't think I've really talked about that much in the past. So this is going to be a good one. I've skimmed through this a little bit. So, what can you actually learn from James Bond, and how you can improve your life as a man? What can you learn from James Bond, the man himself? Since a lot of you guys are always looking to improve your lives, most of you guys who follow me are into personal development. You want to improve your life, you want to improve your status, your looks, your fitness, your confidence, your mindset, your finances, your relationships, your social skills, and all that. And I get you. So this video is mostly aimed for men, but women can learn something from this too. I'm sure about that. So yesterday I was actually watching this little video game walkthrough. It's the game was called Nightfire 007 or 007 Nightfire. It's a James Bond video game from 2002, so it's been released 22 years ago. And I remember, because when I was a child, I used to watch my dad play that game all day long. It was such a cool game. I was enamored by it. And, you know, in that game, it's actually played the video game character of James Bond, portrays Pierce Brosnan. And he has a different voice actor in that game. And he's obviously trying to battle the evil. He's fighting against this big, rich, evil guy who wants to manipulate the world. He wants to control the world. He wants to instill the New World Order, which is a little bit crazy to me, that this game is 22 years old. And he was talking about all these things 22 years ago, about having a global government, about having one digital globalized currency, about having digital passports and all that shit. Which is, okay, I don't want to go down the conspiracy route, but do your own research, okay? So it's a cool game, and he has all these side chicks, these side agents that he occasionally hooks up with. But the main lesson that really got me thinking after watching that little video game walkthrough, because I did not watch the whole thing, it was like 2 hours long. I just watched maybe like 20 minutes of it. I was really thinking and analyzing to myself, like, what makes James Bond such an attractive person to the other gender? Because I'm a man, obviously. I've always tried to improve my life, especially when it came to women, because I used to believe so many wrong things. But there are certain elements that you guys can pick from him and implement in your own life. Obviously, he's a fictional character. You can't learn everything from him, because that would be unrealistic. So let's get on with it. The first thing that you guys can learn from him, and this is very, very obvious to me, is that he attracts things into his life. And this is a big, big game changer, especially when it comes to relationships. Since I used to make the same mistakes myself, I always used to chase women. I always used to talk too much on the phone, text too many women all the time. And man, I always used to validate myself with women, and it never worked. Never. And the women could sense that. And in my opinion, and I think a lot of you guys can agree with this, women, in my opinion, are extremely good at this. They're very good at picking energy from other men. They can really sense if the other man is really about this shit. They can sense if that guy is needy and is insecure and has no chicks, or if the guy is actually confident and they instinctively know when a man they're talking to has options. If he's the shit, they can sense that 100%. I've talked to many women and they all agree with me. So, what does it mean that you attract things into your life? It means that you don't care. You don't have expectations. You just let it go. And you're not attached. You don't need validation. You're not needy. You're not being insecure. You don't have all this energy that's being tensed up, that's building up inside of you. Instead, you release that energy, and whatever happens, it happens. And this is such a big game changer, because now, instead of you chasing all the women and you trying to get their validation, make them, you're looking for ways to make them like you. You switch the script. You flip the script. Now, you're all about yourself. You're like, man, do I really like this chick? Do I really like this girl? Is she worthy of my attention? I don't know, but we'll see. Do you see where I'm coming from with this? It's a big, big game changer. And I'm not sure if it works for women, but for men, 100%, I've tested it out so many times. It's a major game changer. You'll get way, way more chicks without advice. If you think that way. Believe me, try it out. But it comes with being a truly capable and valuable man. Being a high status man. And now, when I say high status, it doesn't mean that you just have to have them. Because a lot of these like red pill guys, they talk about having money, looks, status, and all that shit. But look at James Bond, okay? He's not a particularly rich guy. According to the fan side, he makes roughly 80 to 100 grand a year, which is not like rich. It's a good paying job in America, but it's not like rich, if you get what I mean. It's just like middle class in some American cities. And he's obviously a good looking man. He's handsome. He's very, very confident. His aura, his demeanor, and his energy is very, very different from your typical man. He's not a big muscular guy. He's slim, lean, but he's not. I don't think you would consider him athletic. I'm very sure that he's fit because that's obviously his job. He works as a government agent, so obviously he has to be in good condition, in good shape. But a lot of the things that you would think that would equate to a high status man, he does not have these qualities. He does not have all the elements that you would think are related to like celebrities, for instance. But it's just that he's not attached to any women. He's not attached to any girls. He just lets it go. It is what it is for him. He does not care. And I think that's one of the main reasons as to why he's so attractive to women. And in that video game that I just talked about, there's all these agents. You have all these different agents. You have this French agent. You have this Australian agent. You have this British agent, and they all want to sleep with him. And he doesn't really give a shit about them, honestly. He just does his job. And I think all of them can feel it. All of them can see if he's actually a man. And that's what makes him attractive. And this is a big game changer, guys. A huge game changer. But for that advice to work, you have to be a valuable man yourself. That means working on your fitness, working on your money, working on your looks, obviously your appearance, because it plays a huge part in attraction. Being a confident man, having balls, picking up your balls and your dick, and actually talking to chicks and not being afraid, having courage and all these things, being brave, being mysterious, because that's another quality of James Bond. He's a mysterious guy. He does not talk too much. He's usually pretty quiet. He's not that talkative. He does not smile that often. But when he does smile, it's a genuine smile. It's not like, it's actually like this. Can you see the difference? There's a difference between having a fake smile and a real, genuine smile. So being mysterious also helps. Not talking too much, not telling everything about yourself like an open book, which is a big mistake that a lot of men make, especially when they meet a woman that's very attractive to them. They talk way too much. They start to brag. They talk about all the things they've done, all their accomplishments and all these things. And the woman just gets bored. She's like, oh, whatever. He's just trying to get my approval. And they can sense that. They can really, really sense that, guys. And I used to make that mistake many times when I was a lot younger. But now I don't care. I'm like, whatever. If she likes me, cool. If not, bye-bye. I have other options, baby. And the women can sense that. They can really feel it. Because there's a different energy about you. You're operating from a higher vibration. And there's like this, you have a very different mindset compared to the average guy. And there's like a big dynamic shift that's going on. Because most women, especially very beautiful women, they're so used to all men who are always chasing them, who are always looking for their attention, their approval. They're looking for their validation, and they're so used to that. But when you're a guy who treats them completely differently or in a different manner, they're usually going to be attracted to you. I'm talking from personal experience, guys. It does work. You just have to treat them differently. Because now you're being authentic. That's actually the real thing. Because when you're looking for approval, when you're looking for validation from women, you're not being yourself. You're being fake nice. I've talked about this subject on many occasions on my videos. You have to be real and authentic. You have to be genuine. And the women can feel it, obviously. And to a degree, I'm going to talk about this when it comes to James Bond. I don't think like James Bond is really authentic when it comes to women. Because most of the time when he does sleep with women, it's usually for his own good. Because he wants to absorb some type of information from her about the bad guy, about her boss, about this guy that she knows. That's usually the main reason as to why he sleeps with them in the first place. But they think that he's with them because they're attractive, right? Because they're beautiful. Or maybe I might be wrong, but that's the impression I get when I look at James Bond. It's not a real he's not really being authentic with these girls. He's like a pimp in a way. Okay, but guys, being mysterious and being confident will help you so much in life. Not just with women, but in life in general. In sales, in business, and when it comes to meeting new people, getting a better job, getting that credit, getting mortgage, it will help you with all things, man. Especially with money. I found especially this mentality of attracting things into your life, it works very well with money. I had moments in my life where I was always, especially for my first couple of years when I was in business, I was always chasing after the money. I was always looking for ways to sell my services, my products, and I was really I was being needy. I was not being authentic. When I was having my conversations with my clients or my prospects, I was not being real with them. I was using all these shady sales tactics, these like urgency, fake urgency. This time we have limited spots and all these things, and it never worked for me. Because the clients could feel that, especially if they're very experienced when it comes to business, and they've talked to a lot of people in their lives. They can sense it if you're the real deal or if you're a pretender, a fake. The same thing is true with women. So there's a lot of different parallels that come to life when it comes to video games. They usually mesh together, especially as I've grown up. There's so many cool things that you guys can learn from video games that actually apply in real life. So, and obviously James Bond in that video, coming back to the video game, the Nightfire video game, he had a lot of these small little sexual innuendos with the women. It was pretty cool. And he was being smooth with it. He was being silly about it. But again, the women loved it. Because, again, why? Because he was James Bond. He was a high status man, a valuable man. He was not some fat, obese, drunk, smoking bitch of a man who didn't want to do anything with his life. He had his mission. He had his purpose. And this is another thing that when it comes to James Bond. James Bond always puts his mission and his purpose above everything else. And again, he's not attached. He works on his mission, his job, every single day. That's his main vision, daily. He's not attached to any relationships, to any women. So he's on his purpose. And this is something that all of you guys can apply. All these lessons, like attracting things into life, works very, very well. Being confident, obviously being very confident will help you out a lot in anything that you do. Being authentic, being mysterious helps a lot with women. Because now she questions herself. If you're being mysterious, you're like, in her mind, she's like, why is this guy so different? He talks to me in a completely different way. He's not bragging about himself. He's not talking too much. He's not trying to compliment me. He's not trying to flatter me. What the fuck is wrong with me? What is it about this guy? And she's going to question herself. And she's going to start to think about you. And it's going to work for you guys. But James Bond, again, he's someone that's always on his purpose. He always puts his mission above everything else. He's not contemplating the bad things in his life. He's just focusing on his vision. He's not being complacent. He's not being weak. He goes for what he wants in life. And that's what makes him attractive too. Not just to women, but to people around him. He has that aura. There's this thing about him that makes him different and unique. And this does not just mean that you have to be handsome to do this. There's just, it's like you have different layers. It's like having an onion and peeling off an onion. And there's all these different layers that an onion has. And this is how a woman can discover you too. It's cool, guys. You can learn something from him. And obviously, again, he's a fictional character. He's not a real man. But there are certain elements that you can pick and apply to your own life. And obviously, again, he dresses sharply. He's very well dressed. He's well groomed. He takes care of his appearance. He's always wearing a tuxedo. And he has all these cool gadgets, has a cool car. So these are like external things that he has that add to his status as a man. And it helps him. So that's about it, guys. I hope you guys liked this video because I was really passionate about the subject. Since yesterday I was walking through my little nostalgic line and I was thinking about this one video game because I loved it. He was fighting this bad guy, this Drake guy who wanted to control the world and manipulate everything and have a board of directors who would run the world, the government, this one global government. And it was cool. It's a pretty underrated game. I highly recommend it to you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I wish you guys a beautiful day. Ciao.